go by into this room, can you stop working right now and your rental properties pay for your life? So it's the normal ultimate goal that most people want to do. Is that fair? So what's one way you can do that?
Great profit share.
KW profit share. What's another one?
Cash flow.
Huh?
Create cash flow.
Create cash flow. How are you going to create cash flow? Gotta make this tight. Can you look from behind it, because then you'll see it straight enough. Huh?
Buy properties and cash flow. High cap rates.
All right. So who's buying rental properties in here? Okay. So how's the KW downline work? So that's another way. How does it work?
Once you bring somebody on, and they make you their sponsor, you get a percentage of the profits that they add to the market center's net income.
Got it. Bring a person on, 7 layers deep, make a percentage what they make, their friends bring their friends in, call it whatever you want, multi-level marketing, downline, it's called being an entrepreneur, build your business. There's people making $1,000 a month, there's people making $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month. One's in Blue Bell, Pennsylvania, I think he makes about $20,000 to $30,000 a month off his downline. It's not overnight, it's over a 30-year run, but it can be done. So your KW downline is one way. What's another way? Rental properties, right? So today's class is on recruiting. Recruiting people to your team and recruiting people to what? A brokerage, right? So that's what it's about. So we're not really going to talk about rental properties that much today, but I wanted to bring that up because of horizontal income. So how do you recruit? Who wants to know? I hope so. You came to the damn class. Not you're in the wrong class. All right. So number one, you guys got this? Make it about them. And the first thing people do is they do this. It's a mistake. Verse. So tip number one, make it about them, ask questions, and don't do what? Which we have a big issue with this, being salespeople. It's why we're horrible, horrible HR hiring people. Talk to people in the sales business and the team business and how many people come in and leave because they don't ask the right questions. And we're likable people most likely, so then we attract. Jesse Barnes comes in, has a conversation, or Marco. Next thing you know, oh, he's great. I want to hire him. He's like me. Is that fair? Ask questions. What questions should you guys ask?
About their goals.
Okay. So number one, ready? Find out about them. So then, where they grew up, what do they do now? What do they like? What don't they like? And most important, how can you connect them to some type of success? When you're asking people's questions in your head, if I'm talking to Ryan and I'm asking him questions, all I'm thinking is, Ryan is telling me this. How can I get him from here to here? That's it. Just like when you guys are trying to get a listing, right? It's the objection handlers, right? Fair? Objection handlers are very, very important. So when you're trying to build a business, you've got to be able to connect it. If you can't connect people, what's going to happen? Huh? They'll find someone who will. And they know that you're trying to do one thing and no one wants this. You're making money and being sold. People are okay with people making money if they know what? They're getting a value and they're getting connected.
Is that number 2 set?
We're not there yet.
Nope. Yeah, I got it.
So grew up, what do you do now, what you like and don't like, how to connect them to success.
Yeah, what do I do now?
So I meet a guy like Marco. I know what Marco does in business now. I know where he wants to go. How can I help him from getting here to here? If I can do that, he'll see what? Value. It's not this. Let me tell you, Keller Williams Philly is #1 in units in Philadelphia for the first time in how many years, and they knocked off someone who's there normally #1. I won't name their name, okay? Because they're probably watching. #2 is we're top 10 in the United States in recruiting. Whoop-de-doo. That's awesome that you do that. How are you going to connect me and help me make more money? Is that fair? Or how are you going to give me balance in my life? How are you going to get me around to see my kids more? How are you going to get me down to the shore more? That's the whole thing that you have to decide how you're going to help someone. Any questions? All right. So, you've been asking these people's questions, okay, on a first appointment, okay? Or you're just talking to them on the phone. What should you do next? You asked them some questions, Jesse, you got to know them. What should you do next? Huh? Set an appointment to do what?
Well, for them to see the office, to see how you operate, to see this and that.
All right, good. No, I'm glad you said it, because that's what I've been noticing happens a lot of times, okay? So if you go to a doctor, if you want your nose done, Rob, do you go to a knee doctor? Yeah, guy does knees, you need your nose done. Do you go to a knee doctor? Why not?
That's not their specialty.
Okay. So what's your specialty as a sales agent right now in real estate? Selling homes, not selling what? People. 3 things are common, but they're not the same thing. Raising capital, finding buyers and sellers, home deals, and what? Recruiting what? People. That's the only 3 things I really, really love doing. I love doing all 3. They're similar. I've learned all 3, but it took me years to figure out how all 3 connect, but they're similar, but they're all different. Does that make sense? So just because you're selling houses, don't try to be a recruiter and bring someone in, because honestly, they will smell it that you're just trying to make money. And you might be or you might not be. Like Ryan, if you really were trying to bring someone on, like I know you're not leading with money, but it might come off that way a little bit if you don't know all the processes. Fair? Like no one in this group's just trying to make money off a person is the reason why you're bringing someone in. Is that fair? It's a bonus. So what I recommend is this, step 2. After you find that there's a value there, step 2 is bring in an expert. So when you go to the general doctor, Marco, and you have an issue, does the general doctor work on you? What do?
He refers you to a specialist.
They refer you to a specialist. So the specialist will be me, or will be someone in your group that's been doing this for a while. And their job is to help you identify if they're going to waste your time, number 1. Number 2, can you help them? And number 3, where's the right fit? Kate was trained by Mike Ferry. There's an old line. You have the opportunity to list with me, not list with me, and I'll let you know if I can help you or not. Fair? That's the same thing when you're recruiting or you're trying to help people in life, is you're trying to do the same thing. Jesse, can I help you? You'll tell me if you can't help me. And lastly, I'll tell you if I can't help you. And if you get really raw with people and bring in an expert on it, you'll see how people will open up. Because their shoulders will go like this. So for example, when I meet people, many times I will meet them in different spots. It might be on the park bench down by the river. It might be in a conference room here. It might be for a cup of coffee. But what I find out that first appointment is just questions, and then I lead it to this. What do most people do in that first appointment? They might ask questions, but what do they try to do?
Pitch something.
What do you say? Say it louder.
Try and pitch something.
Pitch something. We need to get microphones up and told for these iPhones. Jake said he has them on a test out before I buy them. Yes, you need to get don't sell them. Do what? Just listen and bring in an expert. Who's been recruiting people in the office here? Rob, Dave, right? All you. Who else? 1, 2, 3, 4. Who else? 5, 6. Okay.
Ryan
What?
just takes them out for drinks.
Yeah.
That's right.
Gets drunk and he forgets what the hell I said.
Step 3.
Why don't you follow up with me? I wanted to sign up. I didn't remember the end of the night. Apologize.
Exactly.
So how's your experience been so far from what I said and what's happened in your life? You guys tell me.
Not good.
Okay, so tell me, what's happened?
Yeah, probably won't ask enough questions and, well, actually, I probably won't introduce to the right people.
Okay. What about you guys? You do this full time, so you're not.
Yeah, so my experience has mutated over time in understanding how different people need to be approached in order for the conversation to evolve, and for them to be able to see the opportunity for themselves. Really just was only talking about their goals in the first meeting and discussing the possibilities that exist for them outside of maybe what they saw for themselves. I see there's a lot of value to coach them to see possibilities they hadn't thought existed, and then sharing books and giving them things to consider, and then asking them if they were interested in moving forward in the conversation. So asking their permission to recruit them.
So she said the key, which is the next step, ask for permission for the introduction. Okay. I'd like to introduce you to Jeremy. Jeremy's been known to help a lot of people with their business. He doesn't care, honestly, if you join or you don't. His goal is to help as many people as he can. He knows if you provide value, either yourself or someone you know will eventually join. It's been his mindset forever. And most people will be like, all right, that makes sense. Now, if you get an opportunity and you bring him and say, listen, I got this guy just wants to sign you up, we're not going to do that, which I don't want to be that way. I'm not that way. So you have to ask that permission and give them a reason why it's a what? A benefit to them to meet. Is that fair? What else? How's anybody else's experience been?
I'm the same way, whether I'm trying to represent your buyer of a house or trying to bring them in here. I try to develop rapport and just share my enthusiasm for what I do.
Yeah. So after you do that, how are you dealing with it? Which I know the answer because I'm working with you on it. What do you do?
When I get somebody who's interested,
Yeah.
well, even when I just start talking, I try to filter them to you.
Right. One person's sitting here. Where is he? There he is. Right? That's exactly what happened, right? How'd it go?
Good.
Right?
They love me.
Right? Love you. That's what you think. What is it? So the next step is they understand the process. Where do you find people? Is that fair? Where do you find people you want to help?
Co-op agents are the best ones.
So where do you find people? Kate just said co-op people. What's a co-op, Nick?
Person who is the other agent in the process.
Yep, we call it adopt the what? Adopt the agent. So we'll call them, we'll thank them for the business, we'll see if we can help them out with anything. We'll start to build a rapport, hopefully invite them to an event, and hopefully they get to do a free what? Test drive. You date before you get married. So number one is a co-op agent. What's number two? If you're watching this and you're a lawyer, you're probably this, because I definitely would be argue all day, right? I'm just teasing. Not everybody that's unhappy is a lawyer, but they joke about that, right? I know some people in here have family as lawyers. Dentists are famous, right? For being unhappy. I don't know if anybody's married to a dentist in here. But in all seriousness, who knows someone right now unhappy in a job? Right? So how can you help your friend get out of their job and get into real estate? So what could you do? What is it? What could you do? Brian, someone's unhappy with their job. I hate my job. It's a 9-to-5 job. I'm making no money. What could you do? Huh?
Market on social media.
Okay. But you can't help. How are you going to help them get out of their job? You got a friend. They're in a dead-end job. They're working across the street in some small little cubicle. They're not making any money what they think they're making. How do you get them out of their job? How do you help them?
They educate them, think about outside of their box.
Okay. So number one, you educate them. But here's what most times happens. You try to teach them. People don't want to be taught anything. Do you guys ever notice that? Do you ever watch a person's brain shut down? I had 2 conversations like this today. that when I see it shutting down, I have to adjust and ask more questions to let them come up with the answer. So if your friend was unhappy with their job, I would go sit, have coffee with them, talk to them, but ask them questions about it and then say, listen, I think I might have an idea for you. I left my job in corporate America and I was doing X, Y, Z. I took a test drive in real estate and I really enjoyed it. Has anybody ever talked to you about getting into real estate? No. Yes. How is it? And then take them down a path of how it is. But the second thing you should do on it is get them into the office for a training. Get them in for a test drive. Who's married? Why'd you get married? Huh? Al did not answer his question. Al was blacked out drunk in Las Vegas and he got married. Crazy night, wasn't it? Hangover 4 movie. It's coming soon. But no, seriously, huh? Why'd you get married? No? All right, you're not the right person to answer. Nick, you married?
He's got his girlfriend,
No, exactly right.
It's a good partnership.
Huh?
It's a good
It's a
partnership.
good partnership, right? So when you you take a test drive, you date before you get married. So you find a friend is unhappy, get them to take a test drive of the office and training. Let them see for their eyes of how it is. You can sit there and tell them all day long they should be a realtor, but if you don't get them in for a test drive, what happens? Huh? Right. So, now, what's another place you can find people?
Service industry.
Service industry. I was just say other businesses. So, why did you particularly say that one?
Because they're already interacting with people on a regular basis.
One of my favorites, teachers. Because teachers ask great questions, they're great listeners, they're normally very organized. It's one of my favorite ones.
Learning based.
Learning based. Or, you guys ever hear of ERA? It's a franchise. I paid 8% franchise for years on. I have no idea why, because no one knows who it is around here, but they're big around other places. They're one of the largest brokers in the United States. There's all ex-teachers down in Maryland or DC. It's called ERA Teachers. I met at President's Club. I was most amazed by them of anybody at this event down in Bermuda because of how they all transformed from teaching, and all of them definitely were the most balanced people in the group that I met. So that was interesting. You're an ex-teacher. Anybody else ex-teacher? Well, how would you get a teacher from stop being a teacher? Huh? Potential income.
Right.
Huh? Yeah, gradually. Most of them getting a part-time job, still be a teacher, do it during the summer, do it through the year, but they have to time block. Okay? What's another business? Bartenders. Okay? What else? We'll call it other biz. Who don't you want? Tennis coaches, they definitely would not take any tennis coaches. Especially Chestnut Hill. Anybody else play tennis? You used to play. Gotta get Snyder out there to play tennis.
I don't think you want somebody who needs and can only operate within a 9 to 5 mindset.
Thank you.
You're welcome. They do not react well to the independence that is part of our world.
Huh?
It's a rare case. It's a rare person.
It is. It's very rare. Why is that? Because most people can't go 9 to 5, 6 to 9 as a realtor. They can't handle it.
Because they are being told what to do next. Therefore, they can't do anything next.
What's the best thing about freedom? I mean, what's the worst thing about freedom?
Freedom.
Really.
Thank you. You guys ever notice your best attribute, your best feature is what?
Your worst.
Yeah, right? We had that conversation yesterday. What other questions you guys have about where to find people?
New agents.
New agents? How many people get their real estate license every month?
It's like around 250 right now.
Let me rephrase that comment. Philly.
So,
Yeah. It's about 100, 120. And if you go in our area, you're right, like
That actually
two,
passed.
300, yeah. So you got the pass and the fail. I like the Phil because it reminds me of myself. So I call them first.
Fail the first time.
Right? What is it?
I think it's about 68.
Yeah, I was gonna say 6 days. Yeah, it seems like that every month it comes out. Who failed their real estate test?
The first time, yes.
Yeah. By one question. How about you?
It was like 1 or 2 in the city game.
I don't remember, it was so long ago.
Where'd you get those?
2003.
You said in 2003, yeah. I just remember coming out there, you get your test scored right then, right? I come out, I was like, all I want to do is celebrate and go get two slices of pizza and a Coke. Just to celebrate and be done. I come out, I didn't pass it. I was like, son of a gun. There's this pizza shop right next door. I walked in. No, I drove home. I was myself. I didn't get it. That's all I wanted. So I went back and took it again. What's another one?
Mothers
Yeah.
whose children are about 3.
Why
Forgot about that
why did she say that? Moms? I call them mums because I'm from Western Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Mothers. Why did she say that with the age?
They're about to start school, they're
Yeah.
gonna have a lot more free
And
time.
they're a little bit more independent.
Yeah, they're not animals. First 3 years, right? You guys kids. First year they pee, they poop, and they cry. Oh yeah, you're doing something. Yeah, so you have to get past that age, then that's it. All right.
Retirees. Military.
Why is military good?
Structured and scheduled. And accountable.
Right?
Those are the best.
Yep. Who's any military in here? My old real estate coach was military, and if you didn't have your numbers ready, it's $250 for every 30-minute phone call. If you didn't have your call ready, your numbers, he didn't take the call, he'd bill you $250. And I was like, damn, you're strict. He's like, I had to be strict all my life. And that makes sense. It really helped us because we thought we were organized. We weren't. All right, what else?
Hotel people. Hotel
Yeah, so hotel industry.
industry.
Hotel industry is one of my favorite because they're willing to work hard and they don't normally get paid that well.
And they're great with people.
They have to be versatile. All right, next. What's the 4 personality styles? Now there's all different ones. There's this. There's all this different stuff. There's one I like. It's 4. What is it? Oh my Lord. What are they?
Driver.
So driver. Al. Analytical. Expressive. Amiable. Raise your hand if you're a driver. Raise your hand if you're analytical.
Under stress.
Yeah, me too. Same thing. Do you know, I'll come back to that one. That's good. Or expressive. Who's expressive? There's like 5 of you that didn't raise your hand. What the hell are you? UFO? So, driver, analytical, expressing. What's the difference? Someone tell me what a driver is.
The facts.
Give me the facts, get straight to the point, no BS. I don't need to know your story. I've heard enough stories in my life. You just killed 3 minutes of my life. Analytical. Let me tell you something. This iPad right here, this is a 13-inch iPad. I can tell you what, there's a 9-inch iPad. That 9-inch iPad was X dollars cheaper than the 13, but I got a discount and I was able to get this for 13. Amiable. So they're detailed, they're very organized, they want to know the numbers. I love analyticals. Once they get started, they just destroy it. It's just they normally take slower to start. These ones start the quickest I normally find, but they're train wrecks. Expressives are train wrecks at the beginning. It's like dealing with Steve Stafford. You're trying to he's like herding cattle. You're just trying to, figure out. You turn around, you're having a conversation. He's over here bouncing off a wall. But you get an expressive down. What are they best at? The best. There's no one even close.
Making relationships.
Making relationships. So should it be a phone person or a door person? Door. Makes sense? Who interrupts more people in this office? Huh? Colin. Love him to death, Colin, for watching this. He's unbelievable, but he's really good at doors too. Why? Everything's happy. You ever meet him in a day? You don't see the kid. He's like, you know what? Today's a shitty day. Like, everything's happy. He's upbeat. That's expressive. What's amiable? Huh? Nick, listen. Really like your shirt. It's a nice shirt. And you tell me, whatever. Jeremy, buzz off. I apologize. So amiable is make everybody happy. Very even keel, very calm, very very comfortable. They're really good, like balancing out this idiot. You know, the driver that's awesome sometimes, and then he's a knucklehead other times. Amiables are more even keel. Expressives up and down, all over. Analytical is kind of like this, but the challenge with analytical they have sometimes, everybody has an issue. You guys get that, right? When you meet a person, which one is the best one? Anybody get it right? I'll give you a quarter. What is it? None of them. Why is that? Yeah, they all have strengths, they all have weaknesses. Okay? So, how do you deal with all these different personalities? This is really, really important to understand. Remember, you're not going to recruit this person. That's not your job. Your job is to find a person, help them, give them advice, and give them to an expert. Is that fair?
It's a matter of fact, be able to relate to them.
There you go. That's what you said? It's how you're going to relate to them. So all you're trying to do, Rob, you're talking to someone, you're trying to figure out their personality. So I had a conversation today with someone who's a driver. I could just tell. And I'm asking questions and questions. And I was like, at some point, I'm going to piss this person off because I'm asking what? Too many questions. Or what's going to happen? It's going to click like this. So I'm trying to figure out what question I can ask. And I finally got the right question. And the person says to me, oh, I got it. I was like, great. Is there another time to talk? Absolutely. But I was, trying to figure out, I knew where that person was trying to go. They didn't know exactly where they were trying to go. Like a lot of us, right? Everybody needs a coach. Everybody needs help. Everybody needs advice. But I knew where this person was trying to go. I was just trying to figure out how could I get that person there without me saying the decision, having them what? Them making it, figuring it out. All right, so one last piece, and that's all we got. All right. Where and what can you do to find people? So we said what industries, but we really didn't tell you where to find them. Is that fair? I don't think we did we? No. So where's places? I hope someone gives you advice while you have 3 cameras up right now. Where's one place? Social media. So the reason why I record things in life, if you get one question, do you know how many times people are going to ask me about recruiting? They're going to ask me about bringing people on our team. This is going to YouTube, that's going to Instagram, this is going to Facebook. Now I can give them this YouTube clip and show it to them. Is that fair? So number one is the power of social media. How many people watch Facebook?
Shitload. Yeah.
Huh?
Everybody.
Everybody. I think it's like 2 billion people. If you do it right in 10 minutes, you can hit 2 billion people. So number one, social media. So do's and don'ts of social media. You guys ready? Tell me something you guys would post on social media to try to see if someone you can help get into real estate. Tell me what you do.
Forward training sessions.
Huh?
Forward training announcements.
Forward training announcements. That's a great one. Nope. Do you guys ever see more training classes than ours? Huh? The most, right? Share that with your friends, okay? So write that down. This is number one with Al said. Share the training schedule. Nick, just want to shoot you over a training schedule this month. We don't care where you work. Stop over. Take a test drive. You won't get recruited. Guarantee Jeremy, Brian, anybody in the office will not recruit you. Free test drive. Just come over, educate yourself. Is that fair? What's another one you can post on social media? Marco, you better say this because you're good at it.
I post like videos that kind of get people engaging with me about what I do.
So videos. And don't do this video. hey, my name's Jeremy, you're watching this today, I want to bring you on as an agent. Give them value in it, and then at the end, just say, listen, if anybody has interest in getting into real estate, give me a ring, I'll help you. Does that make sense? Give them value content. What's another one, social media? Share what? Share and what? Comment. That's the key with Instagram, I've been noticing, how I'm getting my likes, well, that's what Jasmine's been telling me, is engage in theirs, comment on theirs, and then what other people do, what will they do? They'll follow you. Jesse, if you post something on Instagram, and you have a lot of followers, I'm gonna post value on your comment, on your post, and most likely, Al Strobel, because he's, sneaky like that, is probably trolling in the back, seeing who I am, because I like Jesse's barn comment. He'll like me, and then if my likes will go up, my views will go up, and next thing you know, some of your friends, people, could maybe be a possibility for agents. Do you guys ever think of that? So just don't think on social media who your friends are is all your contacts. If I know Snyder, I want to know his contacts. So maybe I tag him with something. Maybe Al has a lot of people, I tag him. So now your influence goes from here to here to here. Does that make sense? Who's using social media right now? All right, what's the next one? Huh? Friends? So if you're talking to friends, you're just trying to have a warm conversation, talk to them, ask them the questions, you're going to hand them off to us. What's another one? What else?
Ex-college.
You two should be in this training. Just because you started doing business doesn't mean you don't come. So there's Mr. Express. Jimmy's another good example. He was a door knocker. What's his personality style? Does anybody know? D is a driver. Yeah, he is. Events. Who goes to events? All right. Events are good. Now you're calling events. What are they? I don't know. Yeah, I just feel like I gotta talk to everybody and I have to have 10 conversations with people I don't like. You guys don't feel that way? All right, good. You're going to the right events. I don't know. Snyder, do you feel that way? Yeah. I'm like, this guy's telling me 9 out of 10 things out of his mouth is hot air. You go to a lot of events. You do pretty good off events, don't you? What do? You just weed down the hot air, or what do you do?
Talk to people, I think I would keep
Yeah, you probably are one of the best people I know that's utilized investors events, right? And you could build a name quick, right? How many events do you go to? Anybody else do that? Brian, going to the bar does not count. Oh, actually it does. Because the guy that I know who runs a company basically has built his whole business on the bar. He recruited me too. What's another one?
Forgiving ex-coworkers.
Yeah, great. That's one of the best ones. You said? It's open source. Why ex-coworkers?
You already have a rapport with them and you have experienced what they've experienced.
Yeah.
So it's coming from a place of experience.
Yeah, something's in common there, right? Exactly. Cool. So I taught you guys, or shared, I should say taught, shared the process. What else did we learn? I hope you learned something. Holy shit, just sat here for an hour on Facebook. Huh?
Personality.
So you learned personalities. What else did you learn?
Who to target,
Who to target,
how to target.
how to target,
Where to target.
where to target. All right, so give me one thing before we leave what you want to do with what you've learned from today. We'll start over here. We'll go backwards.
Post videos.
Post videos.
Get more interactive with social media.
All right. Keep going.
Be better at the handoff.
Huh?
Be better at the handoff.
Get better at the handoff. Yep.
Using the training calendar
Got it.
to give people
A reason
to come in.
Yeah, reason to come
Get
in.
some
Yeah,
value.
I agree 100%. It's the best one.
questioning versus talking and passing off to an expert.
Good.
I'm gonna try to bring you school teachers.
Good. What bars do school teachers hang out at?
One's close by their schools.
There you go. So they're hanging out by the schools at the bar. All right, cool. Anybody else? Yes.
No, just processing.
He's analytical.
You do.
No? What are you?
I'm more the driver.
Are you? What's taking you so long? Just
I get the kids on the floor. That's
God bless. What else?
Events.
Events?
Do more comedy on social media.
Do more comedy?
Comment.
Oh, commenting. Commenting. Okay.
I've heard that if you engage, like liking,
Yeah.
doesn't really do anything.
No.
Nobody sees it, but comments, and you're right, I do agree more.
Yeah, the amount of people when you go out and they say something, hey, I saw you sold this house, saw you flipped this house. Hey, jerk off, why don't you like something once in a while? Why don't you comment, right? It's the same people. There's just certain people who just don't do it. You're right, Al, you'll get that conversation going, and then you'll be talking to their friends. One other thing I would recommend, you would do well with this and anybody else in the group, is bring your friends on Facebook and get into their networks and help them out. So I have a person, like Tandra and I were doing a show once a week. Now it's kind of slowed down doing this. I'm going to try to do it like twice a month. I'll do one a week. But bring your friends on Facebook and interview other friends and expose them. So if Jesse was like, I don't know, Jesse's a hypnotherapist and dieting, like it just is a friend, bring that person on, share them to your friends, and you'll see their friends open up, and the next thing you know, you get referrals for them. People are like, what business are you in? They tell us to Tandra and I. I'm like, we're in a real estate business, but that's not really our true business. So like, what's that? We're in a business of helping people, connecting people. That's all I've been doing in my life, just connecting. We're like, how's that work? Money, houses, real estate, businesses, you know, for my but that's connected, right? So now I'd recommend you bringing our people on and sharing some stories.
Asking more questions, and I was going to say commenting also. Asking more questions and kind of getting more to their why, you know, putting them in a position for that.
So if you guys are watching this, you want more news, you want to come check out one of our trainings, you know how to find us. So I want to leave one thing before I turn this off. Nick, can you hit that off YouTube? Is the downline, so you guys know how that works. So basically, it's 7 layers.